School of Racing Graphics. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how the auto update feature works on the new srgfx UMP Dirt Modified template, and really how the auto update feature is going to work on all templates moving forward. I'm going to go back and update some of the older templates. Those updates will be free. They'll work the same way as this one. It's going to streamline your design process, make your proofing process way simpler, way faster, and helping you set up your print files that much quicker because it eliminates a couple of steps during the design process. So I'm going to show you how to make sure that the design file is linked to the presentation file. So you design in one file, it's linked to the other. The presentation file automatically updates, and I just want to make sure that you know how to duplicate the project folder, rename it, and still be linked to the correct file for each project. So I'm going to show you how to do that here. So I have the UMP Dirt Modified template folder open here. This is how it will come. So once you download it, this is everything that you'll see. This video is specific to Adobe Illustrator. So if you're not a Adobe Illustrator user, I recommend still watching the video because this may turn you on to Adobe Illustrator because it is truly going to save you a lot of time. Okay, so I'm going to take the Adobe Illustrator folder, and I'm just going to open it, and you can see we got two different chassis in here. We got Elite and LH chassis. LH chassis basically stands for Longhorn. It's basically a Longhorn chassis. I just couldn't use their name. They wouldn't allow me to, and so I just calling it LH. And so we're just going to use the Elite chassis chassis for this particular demo, but you could use either one. Legacy is just for older versions of Adobe Illustrator, so if you're using like CS5, CS6, you want to go into those files instead. But if you're on the newer version, or the cloud version of Adobe Illustrator, just use the ones right here in the root folder. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the Elite Chassis folder here, and I'm going to duplicate it to my desktop like I'm starting a brand new project from the template. Okay, so I still left this one here, and now I have the Elite Chassis folder here. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And you can see once you get that open, you're going to have the presentation template, and then you're going to have three links. One's the tire label, one's the helmet, and one's the body panels, which is where we're going to be designing. There's instructions in here on how to get this up to your full size for printing, and then also how it's going to be added to your presentation file. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open this. And when I open it, it's going to take a second because it's reading all the links that I have set up. And if you're on a Mac, it's going to do something a little bit different than if you're on a PC. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my links panel. And you're going to see here, I just have mine right here. But if you don't know where yours is, it's under Window. And then go to Links. And it's going to show you every linked file within the template. Okay, so we have a bunch of them in here. Basically one setup for each part of the car so that everything updates seamlessly. I'll show you how that happens here in just a second. I'm going to turn off this information layer. But if I click any one of these are all linked to the same file, so these are not different. They're all the same. So if I click body panels, it'll show you here. It's showing you where it's linked up on my computer. And it's basically telling you, hey, this is still linked back to the old file. Now I could individually go through and update all of these one at a time to link to the new folder that I just put on my desktop, but there's a much quicker way to do that, and so I want to walk you through that now if you run into this problem. So just make sure when you come into your links that your body panels, tire labels, and helmet are all linked to the correct file in your project folder. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And I'm actually just going to close this file here. Now, essentially what we need to do is just break the link from the new project folder back to the old project folder or the original one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this. I can rename this to anything. So I can say driver name is John Doe. It's going to be a 2024 Dirt Modified. And that would be my project name. Okay. But it's still linking back to this folder here. So all I have to do is take this folder and I just have to rename it. And typically what I do is I put it's called a tilde, put that in front of it. Now when I open this, when I open the Elite template, it's going to look back and it's going to say, I don't recognize that folder. So it's not going to be able to find the file, and it's going to tell me the link is broken. And at that time, it's going to give us a dialog to update to this file. and it'll do it all at one time. So every one of them gets updated. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. It's going to take a second. And I'm going to turn off information. And then I'm going to open up my links. And you can see here, now what it's doing is it automatically went through and found the file for me. You see what it did there? Now, if I would have left the file open and renamed that folder, what it would have done is it would have turned all of these into red stop signs, or, you know, like, hey, you need to update all these, and it would have made me do them all one at a time. So now when it opens and it recognizes, hey, there's the new one is right in the folder that you wanted it to be in. So that's how you go through and make sure all these are updated. So now I can just save the file, and all of these are going to be now updated to the right spot. So now once I get it saved, I'll open up the body panels file. And essentially this body panels file is set up to be at 24% or 1/4% of the full body panel. So the instructions are here on how to size it up. I'm not going to go through all that now because they're in the they're on the actual canvas. But you'll see here now when I click this or this or this and that, and I change the color to something else like this, and then I save it, I'll switch over here, and it might take a second, but you can see all these have turned yellow because they're saying, hey, we've noticed you've updated the file or you've saved it. So we want to make the changes here to this template. So then you click yes, and when you click yes, it's going to take it a minute, but you see it comes through now and it updates all the panels that we just added or changed the colors to. So even on the top view. So now I can go through and I can add my graphics, and I'll just make something super quick so that it's not complicated. But let's say I was going to put a number 20 on, and get something a little bit racy. And we'll go like that. And we'll go like that. And we'll turn the rest of these red. That. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. And then I'm going to go back. And sometimes what you do is if you switch out of the program and switch back in, it'll give you this dialog box much quicker. And then you can click yes, and it'll update a lot faster. Instead of waiting, sometimes the dialog box will be a little bit delayed in coming up if you just wait for it. So just switch out of the program, switch back in, and the dialog box comes up. And now you can see all the design elements are in there. So essentially, I don't have to pick through this template at all. I can just add my design to this file, save it, and everything's updated here. All the rake is accounted for, all the angles are accounted for, but here you're designing at 90 degrees. Everything is pretty much ready to migrate over into a print file depending on your printer setup and printer size, so that you don't have to continue to design and then add it to the presentation and then set up a print file. You're kind of doing everything all at once, okay? So you come back over here. Now, let's say that I'm going to update or change the name of this. Maybe I want my body panels file to actually have the same name or a project name like John Doe 2024 Dirt Modified. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and rename it that. And when I come back in here, you're going to see it's not going to be the same. So that file is now going to be missing. All right. From, let's see here. There you go. So it's not taken account yet that the file's not there. So sometimes in order to do that, you just have to, we're going to save it, save the file. So all of this, like changing names and changing folder names and things like that, are better to do before you've opened the file. So I've saved it now, and now it's recognizing, oh man, all those links are broken. Okay, so do I go back through and individually fix them? You can do that, but that would take a lot of time. So that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and close that down, and then I'm going to open this modified elite file again. And this time it's going to say, hey, do you want it? We notice the body panels file is missing, and it's because I renamed it. Do you want to replace it? Select another file, and you do. And you want to make sure you select apply to all so that every instance of body panels is changed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to my desktop, and I'm going to navigate to that folder, go to links, and select the John Doe. And if you want to move that file out of the links folder, you can do that. It's just you got to do it while the file is closed so that when it asks for you to re-navigate to the linked file, you can do that. And it'll just be wherever you had decided to put it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit replace. And it's going to take a second because it's going to read the file. And it'll all be updated, but it'll have the new name, which helps with workflow and organization in that sense, so that when you're searching for your files, it doesn't just say body panels. It says, the name of the folder or file, or however you want to organize your workflow. So that concludes this part of the tutorial, showing you how to make sure that you're linked to the correct file when you're working in your presentation template. In the next videos, I'm going to show you how to change colors and go through and quickly modify some of the elements within the design template to match your client's specifications.